Harish, we are right now shifting our focus. We are getting a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. Let's take a look at that. We're now learning that Pakistan is all set to cancel identity cards that have been issued to Afghans. 250,000 Pakistan computerized national identity cards of the CNIC issued to Afghan nationals have been illegal, we are told, and top intel sources have scrutinized, in fact, the NADRA has scrutinized all of these people. We're talking about 250,000 people, and top intel sources claim that some fake CNICs were made with the help of colored printers and softwares. And these CNICs have been issued to Afghans through fake documentation and also heavy bribes that were paid in return for these ID cards. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with that information. Akanksha.
These are inputs shared by Security Affairs Editor Manoj Gupta, where we are learning that the National Database and Regulatory Authority in Pakistan is now all set to cancel these computerized identity cards of the Afghan Pashtuns, close to 250,000 of them. Their identity cards will be cancelled. Now, Pakistan intelligence sources are telling Manoj Gupta that they believe that these are the Afghans who are responsible for money laundering, for also orchestrating terror financing activities, and which is why they are cracking down on them. But more importantly, what we are learning from our sources within the Afghan Taliban, they're saying that these are Pakistanis, these are Afghan Pakistanis who were born and raised in Afghanistan. But now, ever since the Pak establishment has sworn to crack down on the Afghans, given the latest tensions that have taken place across the Durand line, there has been this systemic cleansing of the Afghan Pashtuns, and the Afghan Taliban believe that this is a deliberate attempt being made by the Pak establishment and the Pak government only to prove itself in terms of the FATF terror financing crackdown that they are expected to undertake. We all know that Pakistan has done nothing but in fact breed terrorism in Kashmir. So if it has to show a crackdown as far as terrorism is concerned, it should also start with cracking down on terror that's emanating from their soil when it comes to Kashmir. But nothing is being done over there. And why was Pakistan sitting like a mute spectator when it came to all these Afghan Pashtuns for these decades who've been residing in Pakistan ever since the 1980s, many of them. So lakhs and lakhs of them in a systemic effort now being asked to leave Pakistan. Close to 250,000 identification cards have been revoked. And what we are also being told is that Pakistan officials were receiving bribe to issue these cards. So there are questions now also going to be raised with regards to how were these fake IDs even issued to these Afghan Pashtuns, and why didn't they raise this matter earlier? But 250,000 is the number that we are learning of.
How has this come to light, Akanksha? Were there investigations that were made that they have only woken up to these many fake identity cards? And we are again, like you've been mentioning, 250,000 is the number that one is talking about, but they are only waking up to it now. What were the Pakistani authorities really doing? Were they caught napping and they have just realized it?
Right. So what Manoj is learning through his sources within the Pak intelligence is that there were bribes that were given for these identification cards, and it is now a problem that's being raised or flagged off by the National Database and Regulatory Authority, the NADRA in Pakistan. And that is the big key question, that why wasn't NADRA now raising this earlier? Why has it been raised now after the tensions that Pakistan has had with Afghan Taliban, where they are also blaming the Afghan Taliban of fostering tensions through TTP. And we've seen how these tensions continued for over a fortnight across the Durand line. It's still standing on a very fragile ceasefire as we speak, Griha. So there are a host of key critical questions that they need to answer. Many are saying that this is Pakistan's way of showing that they are cracking down on terror financing, on all of these Afghan Taliban who they believe are terrorists sitting on Pak soil. And that's their way of perhaps getting some kind of a remuneration or relief from the FATF. Will that really work with the FATF? Because it's only after the tensions with Afghan Taliban that they've started with this crackdown, but it is nonetheless systemic cleansing of the Afghan Pashtuns. 250,000 of those computerized national identity cards being cancelled.
Right, Akanksha, thank you so much for all of that information.